Okay, next up is tangents. So tangents refer to the method that we set for how the keys are connected. Currently we are using auto tangents. This is the first button in the little section of buttons here. So the one with the blue box is the one we are currently using. Auto tangents aim to give you the smoothest result without any curves, giving you values that are higher or lower than those you have set on the keys. As an example, I'll just lift this one back up. And if I set a key, let's say on frame 11, just hit S, and also lift that up above it, you'll see that the curves do not go higher than this key itself. So the way that the curve interpolates doesn't allow the curve to drift up higher than the key we have set. Same for the keys at the bottom, it doesn't dip below the keys we have there. But now if I just deselect that and switch the tangents to the next button along, which is spline, you'll see that they do go higher and lower as Maya tries to keep a smooth line. It also just keeps things in motion, so it just allows things just to overshoot, have the motion continue a bit higher than we had initially set. So that is auto tangent and spline tangent. The next setting on here is clamped. I never use these though, so I'm just going to skip those and we'll go straight to linear. And if I hit the linear, you will see that it will give a straight line between keys, which results in a constant speed between these keys without any softness or cushioning before or after the keys. If I play this, so you'll see we have something of a bouncing ball, but it's very robotic, rigid, it's just hitting a ceiling and not very convincing as a bouncing ball. Following linear we have flat keys. This makes every tangent a horizontal bar like this. So if I select them, you can see these handles are flat. This is useful when you have keys with values that do not change next to each other, as it will stop Maya creating motion you don't want, as the curves don't move up and down between keys. So as an example, if I grab this key and I just move it down to the same value as the last key, so now we have flat tangents here, it won't move anywhere. But if we had spline, you'll see that it will drop below the ground before rising up. So it's useful to have flat tangents when you want to keep things still. And lastly we have stepped keys, which is this button here, which looks like some steps. We will be using these when we get to blocking out our shot. Stepped keys hold the pose you have created until the timeline gets to the next one, and then it will pop or snap into the next pose. So if I hit play, you'll see that in action. The ball will pop, 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 pop. So it goes from the pose that we have on frame 0, it sticks to that pose all the way to frame 7, and then at frame 8 it's going to jump to our next pose, which it will hold until frame 10, and then at 11 it'll jump to the next one, it'll hold until frame 12, and so on and so on. We use this when blocking so we don't get distracted by the motion that Maya might add in between poses if we were using spline or auto tangent. It keeps it simple for us while we concentrate on building up our animation. Using step tangents means that you have to be in control of the animation. You will not be leaning on Maya to do any of that in-between work for you. There's another tangent setting at the end here, which is plateau, but again, I never use these, so we'll just keep going. Also, although we were clicking on the tangent buttons to change all of the keys, you can select individual keys or groups of keys and switch their tangents independently of the rest of the scene. So I can click on these keys here and make them whatever we want them to be. Just like this.